When it comes to wealth, power, and international influence, the global financial landscape is on the cusp of undergoing a revolution that is so fundamental that it may reshape these concepts for future generations. A resolution that was both historic and unanimous was reached by the heads of state of the world's 20 largest economies during a G20 meeting that was held in secret. The cryptocurrency known as XRP, which was invented by Ripple, has recently been designated as the official global settlement asset for all international debt and commerce. Furthermore, the price of each coin has been fixed at an astounding USD 120,000. This is a move that has never been done before, and it has the potential to upset the very foundations of traditional finance. It also has the potential to undermine the dominance of the United States dollar, which has been the dominant currency in world reserves for almost a century. Over the course of several decades, international finance has been hampered by procedures that are slow, expensive, and opaque. In addition, it takes banks several days to settle international transactions, currencies are subject to unpredictable fluctuations, and states frequently face crises related to debt repayment which have the potential to weaken entire regions. The bold acceptance of XRP by the G20 aims to overcome these systemic challenges by developing a bridge currency that is quick, secure, and widely accepted. Imagine that every single international trade agreement, sovereign debt repayment, and business transaction would be processed in a seamless manner through a single digital asset that is completely transparent, settles instantaneously, and reduces inefficiencies. Not only is this no longer a hypothetical situation, but it is also a potential reality that has the support of the most powerful economies on the planet. Examining the function of the G20 in the realm of international finance is necessary if we are to comprehend the significance of this decision. Over 80% of the world's gross domestic product is accounted for by these countries, which have historically coordinated their policies regarding trade, economic stability, and crisis management. A strategy pivot toward a multipolar financial system, one that lessens dependence on legacy currencies like as the United States dollar and the euro, is signaled by their encouragement of XRP. This endorsement is not only a technological shift, but also a strategic pivot. The concept of financial sovereignty is represented by this for governments. From the perspective of investors, it is an opportunity. As for the average person, it has the potential to reimagine the concept of economic stability in ways that were previously inconceivable. To get a better understanding of the significance of this decision, we need to take a more in-depth look at the function that the G20 plays in the realm of global finance. Historically, these countries, which together account for more than 80% of the global GDP, have collaborated on issues such as trade, economic stability, and crisis management. Their support for XRP is not simply a demonstration of their openness to advances in technology. An important strategic move toward a multipolar financial system is being made here, is one that lessens the reliance on traditional currencies like the United States dollar and the euro. This action is all about ensuring that nations maintain their financial sovereignty. For those who are interested in investing, it is a fresh kind of opportunity. At the same time, it has the potential to redefine economic stability in ways that we have never seen before for regular citizens. The selection of XRP was made for a number of very specific reasons. The cryptocurrency known as XRP was developed from the bottom up with the intention of achieving cross-border efficiency, real-time settlement, and high liquidity. This is in contrast. The amount of people looking for XRP might definitely rise, bringing its value to extraordinary heights that we have never seen before. A peg price, like as this one, brings about stability and confidence, which in turn stimulates adoption and contributes to the reduction of volatility, which is an essential component for global financial systems. To tell you the truth, an extremely limited number of alternative cryptocurrencies are capable of achieving this level of legitimacy and dependability. Moving on, let's talk about the peg of $120,000. One would get the impression that such a figure is, well, impossible at first glance. If, on the other hand, you take into account the fact that it is being adopted by global enterprises, central banks, and worldwide trade networks, then it truly becomes realistic. If you take into account the magnitude of national debt repayments alone, in addition to corporate trade settlements, remittances, and financial reserves, the demand for XRP might completely skyrocket, which would drive its value to heights that have never been seen before. Having a price that is fixed in place offers stability and confidence, which in turn encourages adoption while simultaneously lowering volatility. This is an essential necessity for global financial systems. In all honesty, very few other cryptocurrencies are capable of achieving the kind of respectability and dependability that this cryptocurrency possesses. The decision will have a staggering number of repercussions from this point forward. In the event that XRP becomes the foundation of global settlements, it is possible that traditional reserve currencies would begin to experience a decline in their power. A digital asset that can be used for a variety of purposes may gradually replace the United States dollar, which has been regarded as untouchable for a very long time. It is possible that nations who were previously bound by their dependency on the dollar would actually acquire more autonomy, and rising economies may be able to access global money in a more advantageous manner, indeed bringing about a level playing field. Imagine that the price of oil, gas, and other commodities was expressed in XRP rather than USD. A slow and fragmented network would be turned into a real-time, frictionless ecosystem that would benefit governments, enterprises, and individuals equally. This would be a beneficial transformation for international finance. The psychology of investors will, without a question, play a significant impact in the outcome. Given that the price of XRP is now set at $120,000, early investors may see unparalleled wealth creation. At the same time as institutions will be rushing to include XRP into their treasury operations, ordinary investors who are aware of the move may have the opportunity to enjoy an early advantage. However, the stakes are enormous and there will be volatility, particularly throughout the phases of the deployment that are initially implemented. At the beginning of the adoption process, there will be a time of tremendous financial drama because markets, regulators, and political actors will all respond to the new system. To be sure, the psychology of investors will be an important factor in this situation. With the price of XRP set at $120,000, early players had the opportunity to create fortune, to tell you the truth. Retail investors who have a deep understanding of the change may have an early advantage over institutional investors. Institutions are going to be in a hurry to include XRP into their treasury operations. In spite of this, the stakes are quite high and there will be volatility to contend with during the initial deployment phases. It is expected that markets, bodies, and political players would all respond, which will result in the initial few months of adoption being a moment of great financial drama. The readiness of technological systems is, in fact, to put it another way, it is not troops or treaties that are making this possible. Rather, it is a single digital currency and the infrastructure that is supporting it. Without a doubt, there will be issues raised by critics, that much is certain. The regulatory frameworks, to tell you the truth, are not yet entirely aligned with the fast adoption of digital technology and technology in general. It's possible that certain nations may exert a great deal of effort in order to keep control of their fiat systems. In addition, it is imperative that the risks associated with cybersecurity and technical scalability be controlled. However, the concerted strategy taken by the G20 does have the effect of providing legitimacy, which in turn decreases uncertainty and, yes, promotes confidence. The speed, transparency, and auditability of XRP make it an exceptionally well-suited cryptocurrency to tackle these difficulties head-on. For all intents and purposes, the world might be witness to some entirely new financial paradigms as adoption rates continue to rise, the settlement of bills quickly across continents by enterprises, the transfer of debt payments by governments without the need for any intermediary banks, and the seamless flow of global trade in digital currency are all examples of blockchain technology. It would be possible to make remittances quick, and it would be possible to provide foreign help in complete transparency, as well as emerging markets now have the opportunity to participate in global commerce to a greater extent than ever before. From the perspective of ordinary investors, the opportunity to take part in this historic transformation is enormous. Nevertheless, you should be aware that time, study, and plan will be of the utmost importance. As the pace of adoption increases, the world may be witness to new financial paradigms, such as firms quickly settling bills across continents and nations, the transfer of debt payments without the need for intermediary banks, and the seamless flow of global trade in digital currency. It is possible that remittances may become instantaneous, that foreign aid could be distributed in a transparent manner, and that emerging economies could participate in global commerce to a greater extent than ever before. There is a tremendous opportunity for regular investors to take part in this historic shift. However, time, research, and strategy will be extremely important. A further consequence of the $120,000 peg is that XRP is transformed from a speculative asset into a